What's up, everybody? I'm James. Welcome to Mechanical Mayhem, and welcome to a Workbench update video. So, a bit of a different scenery, if you will, as a backdrop for the Workbench itself. I've done two things aside from working on this model, which is a 1/60th scale classic Timberwolf model. I've redone the Workbench space itself, and I've also completely moved the room it and my quote-unquote office was in, which I only just more or less completed a couple hours before shooting this. So I still have some finishing touches to do for sure. But I'm really pleased with the result, both with kind of redoing the workbench itself a little bit and moving things. So that's why this model isn't further along, because I feel like I definitely could have had it in final assembly mode if I didn't decide to do that kind of spur of the moment and it take up the rest of my dedicated potential free time. And it took up a lot of time moving stuff around, but it was worth it. In any case, what we're looking at here, like I said, is a 1/60th scale classic Timberwolf. And this is painted up and very much inspired by the color scheme we see for the Timberwolf in the Mech Commander 1 cinematic intro. So this is a Clan Smoke Jaguar painted up mech because Clan Smoke Jaguar is my jam. With all that said, if you're a fan of models and miniatures and Battletech or any combination thereof, definitely sound off in the comment section. I'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. Not only does it help me out just to get the word out some more, but I think also the more outlets that are kind of getting that loving, if you will, not just from me, but for anybody else doing Battletech stuff, I think might help get the Battletech word out, the awesomeness that is Battletech. And wouldn't it be cool because somehow force a resurgence that we kind of need. Anyways, that randomness aside, let's take a look at what was done. And one of the things that was done was damaging the legs. That's why they're just sitting there. I have it currently on the mend with some glue. That wasn't anything on the model's part. It was the whole upheaval of drastically deciding to move everything last minute. Unfortunately, it was a casualty, but it should be fine. Even if it doesn't mend the way I'm hoping it will now, I know I can definitely fix it. It's just, that's going to be part of the next step, I guess, in this Workbench update. But outside of doing that, I assembled a torso, and I printed and then decided to right away tint these transparent parts. I used transparent filament, but my hope was, given the size of the scale and the settings I set, that it would come out pretty decently clear. And it came out a lot better than I thought it would, but it definitely needed tint. So I did that with Tamiya's Smoke. This is Smoke, is an X19. And it says it's acrylic, and it also says it's flammable, so it's not a water-based acrylic, which is fine. But Smoke is basically Tamiya's clear black. So Tamiya has a clear color range. One that's pretty popular is clear red. It does great for gore effects if you're doing something kind of gory model-wise, let's say a Berserker Force or something along those lines, something grim dark. Tamiya clear red does great gore for that. And it also works really well for tinting things red and for doing like a candy red. All the clear colors work well for a nice candy effect, which is basically putting it over metallic. But anyways, Smoke is just clear black, and Smoke does a great standard tint job on transparent pieces as well. So if you look at the Mech Commander 1 intro, you'll notice that its cockpit glass for that Timberwolf is black, or kind of traditional tint. So that's what I went ahead and did here. Now, on this one, I didn't put any Tamiya clear, I was gonna say clear black, Smoke on the back of this like I did the rest of them. That's because I worked on that piece last, and I realized, wait a minute, I don't have any light source from behind. The reason I did both sides is I wanted to get it to be a really dark, transparent black. Well, since there's going to be no light from the interior, I don't need to do the back. It's going to appear darker than it already is. So I didn't do the back on that one. And that's a nice little, I guess, tip for you. Outside of just painting the interior dark colors, if you're doing something for, let's say, costuming or some type of prop work effect where you want to tint something, if there's no light to worry about coming from the back, you don't have to tint it necessarily as dark as you might think, depending on what you're going for, of course. So just kind of a food for thought situation there. Anyways, with that said, the cockpit glass is ready to go. It's 4 pieces. I did dry fit it before the tint, and it works out pretty well. But I'm probably gonna do a little bit of like fine tuning to get it to slot into place and then glue it in place. So that'll be the next step as well. That's the long story, longer routine of saying, hey, the glass is ready to be put in. So that's really the next step. So the next time you see this mech, it's going to be fully assembled. I'm going to leave the canopy removable. I call that the canopy. I'm going to leave that removable to see inside, unless it becomes annoying when it's sitting around, if it like tends to slide down a little bit or fall off or whatever. I'll just glue it on, but it shouldn't, because it hasn't done that yet with test fits. So it should be just fine. But the next time you see this thing, it'll be fully together on its base. The leg will be fixed. The glass will be in place. The quote-unquote glass will be in place. And it'll be done. The only thing it'll be missing is the Smoke Jaguar clan symbol, because I can't get my hands on that decal. I'm not sure the ones that are used for 6mm models will look appropriately sized on the side of the canopy here. So, you know, there's that to consider as well. I've seen that there were some larger ones, but they look very poor from what I've seen of pictures, of actual pictures of them. But if I'm able to get my hands on them for cheap, you know, not spend too much money on some decals, you know, I'll see about giving them a shot. But for right now, it'll just have to be symbol-less, which is not a big deal. With that said, one other thing I want to bring up is the MechWarrior 5 Clans story-driven campaign playthrough. It's Smoke Jaguar, so it fits here. I have 2 more missions to record the commentary about, and of course then edit things together and post them. And that would have been done if it wasn't for doing this moving around of rooms project I decided to take on last minute. So I know the game's been out since October. I'm not looking to break any ground here. I have fun with it anyway. But in case you are one of the very few people who do check out that playthrough, it's coming. I was hoping to be done with it on the channel by now and doing some other random stuff, but you know, them's the breaks. It happens. But that is also on its way to being completed as well. This will probably be finished around the same time, at least for me, and then you'll see it when it's done, type of situation. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, just want to put that out there on this video as well, a little bit of an update for that. In any case, thanks so much for stopping by. Let me know your thoughts of the build thus far. It is nearly done. It's looking pretty great. It's not going for like crazy museum quality paint job or anything like that. It's just meant to look cool, and I think it definitely fits that bill. So thanks so much for stopping by. Any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Once this model is done, which will be the very next update you see, will be it done, I will be getting things ready for the next project, but it's not going to be taking over right away. And I'll go over that in its own respective video. In any case, thanks so much for stopping by, and until next time, take care.